So hello, everyone. Welcome to a practice that will be a tour through the 8 limbs of yoga. We're going to start lying on our backs. And if you have a block or a pillow under your hips, that's going to feel really good. So just coming into bridge pose with the hips a little bit higher than the heart. And if you like, you can bring 1 or 2 hands to your belly so you can start to be aware of this deep belly breath. So let this be the entry to this yoga practice. You can close your eyes. We're going to explore today one of the pathways to joy. Joy meaning the word yoga, union, connection, uniting our little self with our big self, uniting ourself with others, and ultimately uniting ourself with all that is. You can use the word God, you can use the word universe, nature, energy, source. The practice of finding union with that. And so this pathway today will be an 8-limbed tree. And at the top of the tree is this union. The word is samadhi, which also translates as bliss. The bliss of this connection. So as we go through this tree, you will hear 18 Sanskrit words. And my invitation to you is to be in the moment, just to be in the moment with each word, each part of this tree. We'll be doing different shapes with our bodies, and I want you to just notice what you're feeling in your body as we explore these 8 limbs and 10 fruits of yoga. These are the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. Take some deeper breaths. Let your breath come into your hands. And we'll do that 3 more times. As you take this 3rd deep breath that fills your belly, comes up into your hands, exhale with a sigh. Gently remove the block and draw your knees into your chest. Let's give our back a nice little stretch. So at the bottom of this tree, there are 2 branches, and on each of the bottom branches are 5 fruits. So we're going to start with the bottom branch called yamas. And these 5 fruits are all about our connection with other beings, external practices. Let's take the legs up and down with breath, starting to find a back stretch and a hamstring stretch. So the first fruit on the bottom branch is called ahimsa, and it means no harm or non-violence. As we move ourselves into happy baby and explore this, what can be a joyful posture, I'd like you to just think about this idea of ahimsa and doing no harm. So it's a wonderful practice when we're on our mats to just find that edge where if I pushed harder, I could be causing harm. So how can I do a little less harm here? Either holding on to toes or feet or ankle, let's start to stretch one leg out and then the other. The second fruit is satya. And it's the practice of truthfulness, non-lying. So in this pose, being truthful to ourselves, what is the edge? What is the right way to practice for me right now? Being truthful in this action. Not going over the edge, pushing, forcing, expecting, but being truthful to self. And then we'll draw the knees back into our chest. Let's bring the chin up and we'll rock and roll ourselves to a seat. And in this seat, let's stretch our legs out in front of us. We're going to take a nice deep breath in and exhale over the legs. And we'll do this with a flow. So rising up on the inhale, lowering on the exhale. The third fruit on the bottom branch is asteya, non-stealing. So this is the practice of taking only what is freely offered to us. Let's hold a soft forward fold. So we can steal things like time and energy and attention, as well as objects. In this posture, how can you take what is only freely offered to you? In this moment, what is offered to you? And pushing ourselves might be taking more than is offered. Bringing ourselves upright, let's take a cross-legged seat. Easy seat, Sukhasana. And as we just roll our shoulders a few times here, preparing for some more vigorous movement. The fourth fruit is brahmacharya. And this is the practice of the wise use of our energy. The fingertips fall to the floor and let's begin to sweep with our breath up and press down. So for example, if we're just coming back from a blissful vacation and our body's feeling exhausted and tired, what is the most wise use of our energy here? If we've been kind of sleepy and lazy, maybe the most wise use of our energy is to take it up a notch and give ourselves a little nudge forward. Let's reach high, take a hold of one wrist, stretch up and over, and switch. And as we reach the arms up high, let's lower the arms. We'll bring the hands behind, open up through the chest, breathe into the collarbones. And our fifth fruit on the bottom left side of the tree is a parigraha, the practice of non-grasping, non-attachment. So in this moment, in this pose, are you grasping for more? Are you clinging, even clinging to the sensation of joy, right? And instead, can we just be present to what is in this moment? Let's release our hands. We're going to come around to a tabletop position, opening the knees and pressing back into child's pose. Take a few breaths here. You can choose to stay here or lift up into downward facing dog, choosing which feels the best to you in this very moment. We'll make our way over to the second branch at the bottom of the tree, niyamas. And these are practices that are about our relationship with ourself, our higher self. Walking our feet forward, come into ragdoll, and then just gently tug on your elbows. Gently lengthen the spine and begin to sway from side to side. The first fruit over here is Shaucha. And it means purity and cleanliness. So as we press our hands to our shins, lift halfway, take a deep cleansing breath in and a sigh out. Moving with your breath in a way that feels purifying and cleansing. Make that loud H sound as a way to just release anything that feels stuck or stagnant. And then bending the knees, same thing, shaucha, cleanliness, reach up, bring hands to heart. Reach up, sink into chair. Find that ujjayi breath, a cleansing and purifying breath. Reaching up one more time and then exhale, hands to heart. Pause here, mountain pose. So here in mountain pose, root down through your feet. Let your hands come to your sides. As we start to move through sun salutations, let's think of the next fruit, which is santosha, contentment. Being content with what is and what isn't. Reach your arms high. Bow down, forward fold. Pressing to shins, lift halfway. Stepping back, downward facing dog. Lengthening forward into plank pose, let's drop our knees. Lowering down halfway, chaturanga dandasana. Pull through to cobra or upward facing dog. And then send your hips back, downward facing dog. In this moment, in this breath, can you find contentment? Not reaching for something that doesn't exist, and not pushing away something that does exist, but being content with everything as it is right here, right now. Let's bring our feet forward, hands to shins, lifting halfway, and then exhale, fold. Rising high, deep breath in, hands to heart, content. The next fruit is tapas, which means fire or discipline. So we're going to just turn up the heat a little bit here, moving into this tapas, this willingness to step into the fire. Rise high, bow low, lift halfway and step back, downward facing dog. Shifting into plank pose on your knees or your toes, lower down, hold. Knowing that when we're in the fire, we're just getting purified, right? Burning away the toxins, the impurities. Downward facing dog. Breathing here. Tapas, discipline. Let your feet come to your hands, lifting halfway. Fold with an exhale. Rise high, extended mountain. And then let's cactus our arms into a back bend. Just look into that fire that got you out of bed this morning, the fire that got you to your yoga mat this morning. With hands at heart center, sinking into chair pose, Utkatasana. And keep your hands at your heart or reach up into full expression. Breathe deeply. The next fruit, Svadhyaya, self-study. Close your eyes and become the observer of your own experience. From the outside looking in, what do you observe here as you study self? in a hard place. Little self might be arguing with what is. What does big self observe? The practice of svadhyaya, self-study. Let's rise high. Practicing the arms again, deep breath. And as our hands meet, let's bow, forward fold. Here, bend your knees, hug your legs, and drop your head low. Our 10th fruit, final fruit on the bottom branch, Ishvara Pranidhana, the practice of surrender. And at the end of all of our doing, all of our hard work, all of our self-study, we release. And we acknowledge that something greater than ourself is at work here. And we surrender to that. Allow your fingers to come to the floor one more time in this big exhale of surrender. Stepping our left foot back, dropping our back knee. Let's come down into a kneeling lunge. So those are the 10 fruits on the bottom branches, and they're all these suggestions for how we can live a more peaceful life with external and internal efforts. So let's start to move forward and back, and we will explore, and we'll be here for a while on this branch called asana. Asana is what most Westerners are most familiar with, the postures that we put our body in. But what a lot of folks don't realize is that the postures are the means to an end. The purpose of the postures is to help us sit better, meditate longer, to find that union, that bliss. Let's come down into a kneeling lunge. Tuck the back toes, circle the arm, right arm up, come into a twist. So this posture is a means to an end. We're trying to get the kinks and wiggles out of our body to find more stillness in our mind. Let's release the hands, stay on the back toes, slowly rise up, high lunge. Interlace your fingers, press the palms up. Breathe. The word asana translates as take an easy seat. So in this asana, can you take an easy seat? You find ease here in the body, in the breath, in the mind. Release your hands to the floor. Slowly bring the back foot forward and surrender again. Observing this letting go, this surrender. When you're ready, the right foot steps back, knee comes to the ground. And then just begin to move forward and back with breath. Asana. Find an easy seat here as we prepare the body for meditation. Easing forward, let's tuck the back toes, lift the knee. The right hand stays down or on a block. Left arm lifts, come into twisting lunge. Maybe close your eyes and see if you can find asana here. Easy seat, comfort, effortless effort. Releasing the fingers, rise up, high lunge, take a deep breath in. Interlace your fingers, press palms high. Lengthen, expand, breathe. Ease in the posture. Turning the palms down, hands to the ground, step to downward facing dog. And let's take a vinyasa on your knees or your toes. And you can certainly opt out if that seems more like truth for you. Let's raise the right leg high, circle the ankle, bend and straighten the knee. And then we'll shift ourselves forward into warrior one, rise up. And we'll take this time in our warrior poses to explore the fourth branch, pranayama, the restraint or movement of our breath to create different energies in the body. So on the inhale, we're going to lift high. Exhale, bow low over the legs, sweep the arms back. Let's use Ujjayi breath, that H sound or that whisper sound. And we're going to use this practice to kind of brighten the energy in our bodies. Feeling the movement of prana, our life force, as we kind of take control of this breath. Let's take one more deep breath in. Exhale, open, warrior two, looking out over the right middle knuckle. Turning the palm and continuing to flow with breath. Ujjayi breath, pranayama. Using our breath to change the energy in the body. Right here, we're trying to brighten, to build heat, to create more light and space in the body with our breath. Take one more deep breath in, reach tall, extend your front leg. It's like turning on a light bulb inside of your body. And as we lower the hand, let's turn our toes to the side of the mat. Hands come to the hips, lengthen forward and down into a nice forward fold. Surrender. Surrender. Lifting halfway, we'll turn toward the back of our mat to repeat that sequence. So dropping the back heel, up we come, warrior one. And starting to move with breath. So asana, take an easy seat, combined with pranayama, the restraint, using our breath to move energy. These two very often work together in a vinyasa practice. Hear the sound of your breath and bring your attention here. What's happening right now in your body with your breath? Reaching high, everybody. Peel open, warrior two, and let's continue the flow of prana. Life force moving through our bodies, turning on the light. Make this movement as big and intentional as you can. Just heard a really loud thunderclap. Sounds like nature is working with us to change the energy. One more nice big inhale, everybody. Reach up, lengthen the side body. Fingers high, body bright. And returning to face the long edge of your mat. Let your toes be out turned this time. Let's lunge side to side. And you're welcome to stay up high. Maybe come halfway down, pull a shoulder across, or bring your fingers down. This is your opportunity to explore your body flowing from asana to asana with pranayama, breath control. We are on a pathway to joy. The joy of a comfortable body and a quiet mind. The next time your right knee is bent, return to the front of your mat. Bring that back foot forward. Come into pyramid pose. If you'd like, you can use a block under your fingers. Lengthen through the crown of your head. Lift. And then lower directly over that right leg. Forehead to shin. Use your right thumb to press the right hip back and surrender here. Pranayama now is a more even and equal breath. 3 counts inhale, 3 counts exhale. Lifting again and lengthening into a flat back. Let's place our left hand on a block and let's circle the right arm around. We're going to come to a little uncomfortable place for a moment, but then circle to the ground. Little discomfort and down. So one more time, we're going to hold in that stretch for the IT band, lengthen, lift. Find an easy seat here. And we'll release our fingers to the floor. Place all 10 fingers in front of you. Come to balance. And from here, we're going to walk ourselves right up into tree pose. So if you'd like to use a piece of furniture to help you get there, or your leg, just going to walk ourselves right up into tree. And we'll use tree pose, this balancing posture, to help us explore branch number 5, pratyahara. Pratyahara is the restraint of the senses. So we can start by bringing our eyes to one point, taking away some of the visual stimulation. We can let our ears hear music. Let our ears focus on one thing. We can notice if there's a taste in the mouth. Notice the touch of our hands together. Maybe a smell in the room, a candle, someone cooking. The practice is to not let ourselves be pulled away by our senses, to be aware of them, but not chase them with story or narrative or desire. Return the foot to the floor, come to mountain pose and close your eyes. Pratyahara is a powerful practice that teaches that our senses are like 5 wild horses, always trying to pull us away from our quiet, calm center. Pratyahara is the refusal to be pulled away, but rather stay focused here. Let's step our right foot back, coming into that sequence on the second side, pyramid pose. So a little narrow stance. We'll hinge forward from the hips, maybe finding a block if that seems helpful. Lengthen through the crown and then fold over your left leg. You can bring your thumb to your hip crease, gently pressing back. And on the exhale, we just surrender over the leg. Breathe in, breathe out. The effort to stay present and not let our senses pull us away. We've worked too hard to get to this quiet place. We want to stay here where the mind is more calm, the body is more at ease. Lengthening softly into a flat back, placing the block under the right hand. Let's circle that left arm, just moving through that place. It's a little uncomfortable and back down. Good. And this time we'll hold that arm up, finding a comfortable seat in an uncomfortable place. Life asks us to do that a lot, so it's a really good practice. Good, returning the hand to the floor, all 10 fingertips down as the back leg lifts. Making our way up however we can into tree pose. On this side, we will look at branch number 6, which is my favorite because branch 6 is dharana. It teaches us how to restrain our senses. We say about this one, throw the monkey a banana. That monkey is busy. And if we just toss him a banana, he calms down. So what is one thing we can offer to that monkey? A breath that we can focus on, the pressure of our foot, the length of our spine, a sound. Choose one thing. Dharana, concentration on one thing. Let's return that foot to the floor. And let's reach our arms slowly up. Take a deep breath in. Hook your thumbs to lengthen and lean backwards. Find ease here, this comfortable seat in an uncomfortable place. A little stretched, a little comfortable. Switch your thumbs. Keep lifting, leaning, lengthening. And then slowly release as we hinge forward from the hips. Come into a forward fold and find your way into downward facing dog, optional vinyasa. Let's lower down to our knees and come up to kneel on our shins. You might want some extra padding underneath your knees. We're moving into camel or ustrasana. I like to tuck my toes. That gives me a little more stability in the kneel. Bring your hands to your glutes. Let's press our hips forward. Let's pull our shoulders back. So for the rest of our practice, we'll stay on this branch called dharana. One pointed focus. You can choose one thing to give all of your attention to. A sensation in your body is a great place to start. A breath works beautifully, a mantra, a drishti, a sound. Choose one thing and give all of your attention to that. You can stay here or reach your fingers to your heels, as long as that is true in your practice. and non-violent, non-harming. Breathe. Feel one point of concentration. One more nice long inhale. Gently rise back up. Flatten out your feet. Let's all take our block and we'll put it on its highest side, and we're just going to bring our hips to rest on the block. If that doesn't feel good to your knees already, just stay lifted. It might also be a nice alternative to bring your heels together, put the block on your heels, and that helps you sit up a little higher. Hands on the thighs, shoulder blades together, eyes closed. We're going to be here and try to practice this dharana, this single focus, for a bit. And I'll give you some deeper expressions of this posture. You're welcome to stay right where you are. So the option would be to just continue to bring your block lower to see where your knees are happy. You could even start to separate the feet and bring the block to the ground. There's going to be an edge of truth, of non-harm, where your knees say, that's it. And I'd like you to just find that and stay there. You can see how it feels to bring your hands to the floor behind you. And if your knees start to lift up off the ground, that's a sign to stop, pause, find one point of focus. Your body might be giving you permission to drop to elbows. And in some bodies, we can lay all the way down on the floor, arms overhead. This is where my knees start to want to lift up, so I'm going to practice Satya, truth, and stay here. Giving all of your attention to one sensation in your body, just one, in your experience. Let's slowly release from this posture, very slowly. A lot happening here in the joints. You can remove your prop. We come to a tabletop and slowly lower ourselves down onto the earth. Create a pillow with your hands, turn your head either way, and just wiggle out your hips. Feel a little massage into the low back, the hips. Just release any tension that built up there. And then turning your head to center, feet closer together. Let's come into locust pose, arms at the sides, lifting the arms, lifting the torso, maybe the feet. With eyes closed, single focus. What gets your attention here? What's one thing? Let's release and turn the head the opposite way. Wiggle out your hips. Breathing, the belly pushes into the floor. That's a great thing to give all of your attention to. Rising up again into locust, and this time, if you'd like, interlace your hands behind, open a bit more. One thing. All of your attention, throw the monkey a banana. What's one thing? And release. Hands by the shoulders, very slowly pushing up to tabletop position. Take a deep breath in, come into a gentle cow. Breathe out, gentle cat. Slow, soft movement. Let's do that again. Inhale, gentle cow. Exhale, gentle cat. One more time, awareness, single focus. And from a neutral spine, we'll bring our legs around in front of us. Let's extend the legs out, clear the flesh. Take a deep breath in, arms reach. Find as much length and space in the spine as you possibly can, and then gently fold over your legs. Allow your chin to come to your chest, the crown of your head to your toes. One thing. This is a wonderful tool when your mind starts to wander. That's just those senses, those wild horses pulling you away. Come back here to one single focus. If you have a hard time finding a sensation in your body that's interesting, go to breath. Follow a breath. Slide both of your hands to the outside of the left ankle or foot. Just give yourself a little bit more of a side stretch here. Release and switch. Find a new sensation. Bring yourself upright. Let's bend our knees. We're going to bring the knees in pretty close to the body so you can wrap with your hands or your elbows. Lift and lengthen to the tallest spine that you possibly can, squeezing at those hips. And then release into butterfly. Once again, fold over the legs. Chin to chest, head toward the feet, spine rounded and soft. And slowly release to roll down onto your back. And if you want to keep those feet together, those knees wide in butterfly, go ahead and do that. We're just going to come right straight onto our backs, Shavasana. You can bring your hands to your belly if that feels comfortable. We've come to the 7th branch, Dhyana, the state of meditation. This is the state of quiet mind. If you drift out of this state of quiet mind, practice again that single focus on one thing. It will bring you back here. A nice place to give attention is the space between our breaths. The space between breaths. With the next inhale and exhale, notice this quiet space. You might keep your eyes closed and bring this quiet space with you as you come to a seat in the state of meditation. As we arrive back at truly a comfortable seat, you can bring both of your hands together in front of your heart, thumbs touching sternum, a gesture of gratitude. The 8th branch on the tree, samadhi, union, connection, the dissolving of separateness, a place of constant communion with our higher self, with each other, realizing our connection to all that is. May we continue to get glimpses of this beautiful branch at the top of the tree, and may these practices that we have done today help us continue in this journey to the peaceful mind and a state of union. Namaste.